Well, ladies and gentlemen, we knew that this headline was going to exist very shortly after Echo finally dropped on Disney Plus, and Echo is getting destroyed everywhere online, literally everywhere. Even people that were normally shill for this stuff are having to admit that this is not very good. You know, like I watched an Angry Joe video, and normally he will shill for anything that has any sort of progressive politics into it, but still, even he had to admit that Echo is absolutely garbage in every way imaginable. And even he still tries to tippy toe around, but still, it really is bad. And it's funny because we saw this happening. We knew this was going to happen. We called this, I don't even know how many months ago when it was first announced that the show was about to be released. And here we are with the official release. All episodes have been dropped at the same time. They're going with the binge model because they have absolutely no faith in the long-term viewership of this show. And it goes to show that this is going to be the future of the MCU, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get into this article, guys, from Phantom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing to my manga channel. The links are in the description box below. I would greatly appreciate it. So we have a headline that reads, Marvel's Echo dropped on Disney Plus and shows once again MCU creators have zero respect for their fans with maximum girl boss achieved. You know, it's funny that we say girl boss and it's become kind of like a meme in itself at this point when we say girl boss, but it's literally that. Like, they turned Echo into a girl boss. They even made herself call herself QUEENPIN. Yes, I saw that picture on Twitter going viral, and it is insane. It is insane that they cucked Kingpin in Echo and they made Echo call herself QUEENPIN. I mean, it just, God, it doesn't get much worse with the writing, but every time we say that, it somehow gets more cringe. It somehow gets more worse. I don't really know how I don't know how this is possible. How can you fail upwards so hard? It's just crazy. So it says Marvel's latest diversity project, Echo, premiered on Disney Plus this week, marking a first for a Disney Plus show in two regards. It's the first MCU program to have all episodes aired simultaneously. Two, it's the first show to have mature audiences warning. Otherwise, fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe will note it's pretty much the same as an MCU girl boss diverse lead, a white male villain, and not much to latch onto in terms of audience interest. The original character of Echo appeared in the relaunched Daredevil of 1998 #9, where David Mack, famous for his indie kabuki book, made an impressionistic book telling the origin of a new character whom the Kingpin raised to kill Daredevil, using the death of her real father as a reason to set her on the Marvel hero. Echo eventually learns Kingpin was the one to kill her father, and instead vows to kill Kingpin instead of Daredevil. Now, you know what's funny? So nobody really cares about Echo, right? I don't know of anybody that really follows the original Echo character. I'm sure there are a couple of diehard MCU or Marvel fans out there that know of Echo in terms of the original character, but still, you took a risk on a character that nobody knew, and you still decided to ruin it. Like, how could you ruin a character that nobody knew? I mean, it just really is bad. It goes to show that this is a show that people went in with a fresh slate, right? Like I said before, nobody knows of Echo too much, okay? Not a lot of people know of Echo's origins, so you had a chance to basically sweep people under their feet and tell a really good story that can captivate people and get them interested in this character, but instead, you just had to go down the girl boss route. You just had to go down the lazy route. You had to go down the diversity route. You had to go down every other route other than the fucking route that you should have went down that would have got people interested in this show. And you made it into this ultimate Mary Sue girl boss, and it's just god awful. You know, I haven't watched the show. I've seen plenty of video clips, and I've seen plenty of picture stills, enough to tell me about what's going down in Echo, and I gotta tell you, it's horrible. Once I saw an ASL freaking poster where they were using ASL to sign out Echo, I was like, wow, we are so past diversity project at this point. It says there's a dash of romance as Maya meets Matt Murdock in an elegant story with some fun rooftop fights before she eventually realizes that it was the Kingpin who killed her father and not Daredevil, leading to her shooting Kingpin and leaving him for dead. The first episode of the Disney Plus shows follows a similar script without any of the character ties to Matt Murdock and Daredevil that made for a tug of the heartstrings. Instead, they make Maya Lopez a big virtue signal about Native Americans living in Oklahoma, have her a generic lost mommy and blame herself backstory, story before sending her to New York to show her that she is better than every man Kingpin has at fighting, even better than Daredevil, before she decides to become Queenpin herself. Yes, it is literally that cringy, ladies and gentlemen. That is the story of Echo in a nutshell. She girl bosses through the entire freaking mob of New York, beats everybody who Kingpin has, including Daredevil himself, and becomes Queenpin. Yes, it is. Every time I say Queenpin, I just die. I just die on the inside. I really do. The story revision is cringy. More MCU nonsense that destroyed the MCU over the last few years. And Daredevil has about 90 seconds of screen time in the entire show. Fans are reacting online about Echo making fun of the Disney Plus show, for most part after a lackluster fight scene and generic feminist and anti-white plots that have destroyed yet another Marvel character. Marvel Spotlight Echo features a chunky, overweight, deaf amputee woman that stalemates Daredevil in a 1v1 fight. That is modern feminism and representation right there. She is half Hispanic, half indigenous, murderous criminal that knows ASL, so that should please the Democrats. One X user. That is great, man. That is a great comment. If I was on Twitter right now, I would like that comment, but that was epic. And this is basically what it is. You know, when I first saw that leaked combat scene between Echo and Daredevil, I already knew what this was going to be, but the fact that they make her stalemate Daredevil, literally make her keep up with Daredevil while everybody else is struggling to even come close to Daredevil, it really is just completely stupid. You haven't earned that. You know what I mean? Like, this is a brand new TV show. You haven't earned the right to stalemate Daredevil quite yet. You could build up to that. You could showcase her obviously becoming, you know, a good fighter, whatever the case may be. You can showcase that, but you went right to it within the first episode. You're like, yup, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have this overweight chick just completely try to stalemate Daredevil and pretend as if she's gonna keep up with him athletically and in every sense of the word. Yup, even though we've seen Daredevil and he's earned his stripes for being how badass he is, we're just gonna throw Echo in here, some female that nobody knows, and just say, yup, Daredevil just got stalemated by this chick. And you want people to believe that. You want people to sit down there and really take that in. It's like, yep, this makes total sense. I'm buying this. I'm 100% buying this. Like, no, this is stupid. It says another gave advice on how they could have fixed, saying Marvel Studios, I mean, the show should have been called Kingpin Wilson Fisk and focus on various lives Wilson Fisk impacts. Would have been a stronger anchor than focusing on a Charlie level Marvel character that isn't popular. I agree with that. Good Lord, Marvel Echo owes me a handful of my hours back. We should form some kind of class action lawsuit versus this donkey shit. A third user pauses on how bad Echo was. Nerdrotic chimed in several times about the show during his watch, live tweeting his responses, culminating with the MCU achieves maximum girl boss. So you know what's hilarious? I saw this picture from Nerdrotic. Shout out to Gary. This shit is hilarious, bro. And the funny thing is, I didn't even think this would be maximum girl boss. We've seen so much girl bossing over the last few years with the MCU, but this is just wow. This is just her summoning every single ancestral feminist that she could possibly have in her lineage and bringing them to the forefront to power her up and to take on every. I can't, man. Echo is a joke. This entire show is a joke. The MCU is a joke. Marvel is a joke. All of it is a joke. It really, really is, man. And all I do is make videos making fun of this shit because it really deserves to be made fun of. It says, over the show, Echo is somehow better than every other character at everything in a Marvel Mary Sue extravaganza once more. Making her an amputee and disabled on top of her already overly diverse origin, and then having her be able to do moves better than Jackie Chan to fight off dozens of men on her own, seemingly without any real powers, is entirely nonsensical. The Kingpin is made to look weak in the show, and the viewer knows it because he's the white man holding Echo down. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what I said was going to happen in Echo. I literally said that they were going to cuck Kingpin at some point in time. They were going to cuck Daredevil at some point in time. They were going to cuck every single man in Echo because Echo has to be the Mary Sue. She has to be the star. She has to be front and center. This woman is doing the literal impossible, and we're all supposed to just take it in and believe it because it's fake. It's Marvel. People with superpowers here. You could believe superpowers, but you can't believe a girl beating up 10 guys. No, I'm sorry, I can't. She doesn't really have any superpowers until the very end, where all of a sudden they ass pulled and they made her some like super powerful being. I don't even care anymore, man. I don't even care. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.